What's going on there, YouTube? Tonight's the night. We are getting the mud truck fixed, running, and muddy in this video. This video will not come out unless this thing is slinging mud. So, fingers crossed. So in the last video you saw we swapped out the transmission. We threw in the R3 single speed, R2, I don't remember. The old RC 4-wheel drive one I had laying around. It works. We've done away with our problem that we had. Fabricated some mounts and went outside and immediately snapped the little intermediate shaft. So I spent all day Saturday going around to local hobby shops seeing if anybody had a drive shaft. RC 4-wheel drive had two available on their website. One was about 35 bucks. I think it was a Punisher shaft that was the right length and it was out of stock. And they had some hardened steel something or another that was the right length. It was like $54 plus shipping. It's like I couldn't do that. That was just too much. So the went to local hobby town. They didn't have anything. Most of the hobby towns don't carry crawler stuff anymore. I don't know why. It's not big enough. So I ended up working my way down to the Lone Star RC Hobbies, and that's where I did some videos at. And the good folks down there didn't have anything. They were wiped out for Christmas. They literally didn't have much of anything in stock, which is good. That means the hobby's thriving, and good folks down there, they'll hook me up. Opened his junk drawer, because I do a lot of repair work and stuff. Pulled out this metal shaft and said I could have it. And this is actually going to be perfect, even though it's about 3 inches too long. It's pretty much identical to the shafts that are on this already. See the shape of the spline, it's kind of a single notch. These are the kind you usually get from China, but it is what's on here already in essence. So we're going to chop this down. And we're going to swap out the missing broken shaft that we broke last time. And that's going to fix this. Fingers crossed. So, it did rain the last 2 days, like I said in the previous video, and I'm going to find some mud, and we're going to get this thing filthy and see what problems we can cause with it now. So, let's get into it. I got to take the floorboard out a little bit to be able to get to the shaft. To either raise the floorboard or pull the whole transfer case skid plate out. I'm just going to do that. It's going to be 2 screws. Hopefully, I can just get in there, access it, and we'll cut this thing down, swap it out, and get it rocking. Oh, guys. This ramp truck is just fighting me every inch of the way. So, this does not have a spline like a standard TF2 axle, the plastic ones, you know, they've got, it looks like an actual, like, transmission spline. This just had one flat side and has a notch on the part, and they fit together, and it does not allow it to spin. Cut that off, it's round. That flat side is only at the very end of this, so that drive shaft in reality is not that strong because it does not have that flat side all the way through. So this did absolutely nothing. We cut it down the right length or close to it, and we still got our flat side on this half. This side is perfectly round, so this thing is fighting tooth and nail. Probably needs to actually go a little bit shorter. I need to actually measure, because I don't know this is all the way condensed, and it was not all the way compressed in the truck before. So it may work as it is, but I've got two options. I can either cut down a plastic RC 4-wheel drive shaft and we can go outside and break it and be disappointed again, or we can do like we did back in the day before they actually made shafts like this for any kind of crawler, and I'm going to drill holes in this and I'm going to put bolts through it. So I need to find the right length, the right distance, the right amount of spread, and then I'm going to drill at least 2 holes in it. I'm going to put some 1.5mm hardware, lock nuts, Loctite the snot out of the whole thing, and pray that it actually fits in this truck. I can't believe that. I had no idea those weren't the same shape inside all the way through. I assumed that tube had that beveled edge, that flat side, through the entire thing, but it's only literally that much. So what is that? Not even half an inch. Not even. Disappointing. But I still appreciate the guys at the hobby shop gave me that shaft. You know, I was just like them. I assumed that would work. But we're going to make it work because we're out of options. And I've promised on Facebook Live that this video would be out on New Year's Day. And we're going to be slinging mud on New Year's Day. If this thing had a neck, I would strangle it. The new replacement drive shaft completely came apart. That one has little metal rings that go around the ball joint on it, basically, that keep the pin locked. And the top one, the front one here, the metal ring is gone completely. I'm assuming it looks like it was pretty close hitting the floorboard, and it probably knocked it off. Pin came out. But the other one is still there, and the shaft is no longer with us. So I'm guessing, I don't know how it came out, but both ends of the shaft are incomplete. So I got 2 swipes through my mud pit, which I spent an hour outside trying to make, and it fell again. So before I get mad and throw this thing across the room, here's what's going to happen. I'm going in with the R4 and my semi-truck transfer case. At one point, putting that drive shaft in, trying to make it work, I almost went ahead and did this. I'm wishing I would have now. I'm out of time to work for today, so yeah. Next time we will get this thing mounted in and hopefully get it bulletproofed. This does away with that intermediary shaft, and it's just, I got one of these RC 4-wheel drive solid links, and it lines up perfect. Everything should line up pretty dang good. The way it's looking underneath the R4 mounts here will mount directly into one of the factory motor plate mounts, probably the lower one. It just depends on how the middle sits. We will have to make new holes for the transfer case, and we will have to make some kind of cross member to support the back of the transmission, because we can't just rely on this shaft to hold it all up with all the torque that we're running through this thing. So it's going to be a little bit of work, but I mean, hell, we've already put so much work in this, so we might as well start over. But I hope everybody had a good New Year's. Sorry to disappoint you again. The mud truck just does not want to be the thing that should not be. So we're going to make it work. But until next time, I appreciate you guys watching, and keep it scale.